We have numbers of non-farm payroll. They're forecasting 146,000. So again, the forecast is 146. And what I would believe, based on the numbers we saw from ADP, the ISM manufacturing numbers, and some of the numbers that have come out, that we probably won't see a number higher than 146. If anything, we probably will see a lower number. If the market gets somewhere around the 146, plus or minus, let's say 10,000, I would expect the market to kind of just stay very neutral, and we would just have to wait to see what happens. But if the market was to see, let's say on the plus side, if we were to see 200 plus, okay, that would definitely be quite a bit of a surprise, and probably what would happen is the euro would get sold, the pound dollar would get sold, and definitely the euro would get sold, especially the euro after the decrease in rates that we had yesterday from the ECB. For sure, the euro would get sold. So if that's the case, I would be very, very cautioned about trying to trade off of these Fibonacci walls here. Let's say, I mean, some of you guys might see these Fibonacci walls and these black PMDs, and you'll say, hey, this is a great place. No, it's not. It's only 2 levels deep, and 2 levels deep after non-farm payroll, especially a number that would come out 200 plus, is not sufficient for a hold. And you probably would want to wait something that would test somewhere down here at this 30.76 or the previous daily low that I showed you, which is at about 30.40. Okay, so somewhere really, excuse me, I would probably pass up on 76, to be quite honest, and I would look for something closer to the 50 level down here, or 40, which we can't even see. And there is where I would say, okay, maybe I'll give this a shot, to get a bounce, to steal some points so right after numbers are released. Very difficult to try to get in on the direction. And the way you could do that is if there is a 200 number that comes out, and let's say the market does drop, and then it retraces quickly, and it gets up into one of these areas up here, then you go ahead and sell it, because there's, that's just a delay. And what the market probably will do, and I really couldn't see it getting all the way up here, but then again, anything's possible. But what the market would do is something similar to yesterday, where they drove it one way, and then they drove it back the other way, because they knew there were a lot of orders that went short, and what they were doing, they were stop hunting. So they went back, picked up all the orders, and actually sat up there for a while before eventually it was a delayed trade. And I talked about this, and eventually that's the one that I think there were a couple of traders that made about 150 points on that. So you guys outdid me. So kudos to you. But that was a delayed reaction, and we could see that today too. Okay, but sometimes, as they did yesterday, they didn't necessarily drop it right away. It took probably about half an hour before eventually they broke it. And I said if we would see 30.90 broken, that for sure you would see the euro dollar crumble, and sure enough, that's what it did. Once we broke 30.90, it just continued to fall like a rock. Or it was 31.90. I'm sorry, 31.90 was the level. So anyways, that's if we see better numbers than expected. Those are the different scenarios. And again, as you can see, there's always a series of conditions that one has to put in place. This is why I always advise traders, if you haven't been doing this for a while, today is probably one of the days that you definitely do not want to be trading live. If you do have a live account, today is a day where all you want to do is just practice, because there's always different scenarios. There's a plan A, plan B, plan C. You got to have all those plans in place. And then you have to have plans that when, not only if those plans don't work, but if you have technical problems. And that's the other issue you might find on days like today. Everything that can go wrong losing the internet connection, the software, the platform gets stuck, I mean, it goes on and on. Your computer freezes, everything that can go wrong. Today is the day when it's more probable that it'll happen. So, once more, I always caution traders, you need to know and be aware of everything that can go wrong so you're prepared to handle it, and you don't get, clobbered, which is so often the case when traders try to trade on conditions like this and they really don't have a lot of experience. The other number I would say, we saw 88,000, and the market definitely surprised to the downside last month, and so we had a lot of good opportunities because of that. So, once more, if we were to see somewhere around 80,000 or less today, minus, I put the minus over here, not there, but so if we were to see 80,000 or less, not that it would be a big shock to the market, but I would then expect the euro, under these circumstances, I would expect the euro and the pound to get stronger against the dollar. And again, a positive number. Here, the yen's also would get weak. A weak number, the yens would probably get strong. Okay, you can see the spreads are beginning to widen, and here we go. Just this is how, again, there's a lot of that move right there. That was just done to go get some stops. $165, $165. See this 49 down here, 48. So here we go. That gives me a fourth quadrant or a fourth buy zone, and then I've got Fibonacci walls and I've got big figures. So a combination of things may help me make some points here. But I guess this is enough to create a market. Yeah, an unemployment rate came in at 7.5. So, again, quite a bit of it is a surprise to the market. As we can see, the market had already been anticipating numbers to come in line, possibly lower, and just getting a little bit better created enough momentum. And so what we'll do now is we'll wait for retracements if we can get them. You can still see how well our 70 level here has held. The market's having a hard time just getting right through that because there's enough on several time frames. There's a lot happening here between 80 and 70, and it just, if the numbers would have been 200 plus, it would have just eaten up that, not a problem. But because they just came in slightly better, it's respecting this area. It's going to get down. It's going to go through. But right now it's respecting the area.
I did short it from 52, and I'm putting a break even on this trade right now. So I'm at no risk on this trade. My stop is at 51, so I'm covering my commission now, guys. I'm covered. I'm taking 8